You're listening to a Comics XF podcast. Comics XF interview podcast, the show where two best friends talk about comics with the people who make them. I'm Dan Grobe.
And I'm Matt Laswitz. And this week's guests are the co-writers of the current weekly Justice League Dreamgirls event, as well as the Justice League Intergalactic Special, Jadzia Axelrod and Nicole Maines. Welcome.
Good to be here.
Nicole, this is your first time on the show, so we'll start here. What are some of the first comics you remember reading?
First comics I remember reading. I think it might have been New 52, Suicide Squad. I came in late. I remember I had a bunch of them that I was going through after my first bottom surgery. And so that's what I was reading in the hospital. Helpful, uplifting.
Was it recovering from surgery or illness in the hospital and getting comics is a common entry into them. So
totally. Yeah. I was like, everybody get out. Leave me alone. You care how are you doing? Bad. I can't read. Leave.
Now, Jadzia, you don't get away without an icebreaker either.
Okay.
As someone who lives in Philly,
yes.
How have you prepared for the oncoming rush of both World Cup attendees followed by the 250th? Because it's like that week the Pope came to town, only for a month.
Yeah, I plan to hide in my house and never leave. That's my goal. Yeah, that's the whole plan for July, is just to never leave this house. And in August, I will come out onto the streets once again and look at the devastation and count myself lucky once again.
Yeah, I am avoiding. Ugh.
Okay, I was say, Matt, how is Laura coping with that?
She is parking her car and not driving for a month. Because she can just take public transportation into work or across the bridge to see me and Amy by public transportation. So she is just leaving her car and not worrying about it because she lives right by the stadiums. So it's...
Yeah, she'll lose that spot immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And never get it back. So, yeah, that's smart.
They might still move her car.
They physically have to lift it. Fortunately,
they might pick it up, tip it out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, it's big. It's a good size van, so it's going to take a few of them, but they'll still do it.
Vans.
Oh,
I
believe
don't
me.
put anything past them.
No,
even they did that school bus in New York.
No,
believe
good point.
We have seen it over the course of the years recently with some of that stuff going on down there.
Yeah,
but at the same time, she's close enough that when there's a concert, you can hear the music from her backyard.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Well, it depends on who's playing.
It depends on who's playing.
True, but sitting in the backyard listening to Brandy Carlisle and Pink was pretty great.
Hey, that's pretty great.
That's not bad. That's
high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Well, let's start in the middle of Justice League Dreamgirls, 4-issue weekly DC miniseries that you're co-writing, and you're working with a whole host of artists: Nicholas Scott, Jay Bone, Brenton Stein, Steven Sadowski, Vincent Cecil, Mikhail Jadine, Rosie Camp, others that I haven't gotten the list, plus backups. Matt, dream a little dream for me.
Fresh off the events of Justice League International Special, Dreamer and Galaxy suddenly awaken on the island of Themyscira, living their best lives as princess and champion of the Amazons. But wait, weren't they just having a blowout friendship fight on the Watchtower, right in front of half the League? And who's the mysterious man that just washed up on their shore, insisting Dreamer leave paradise with him and save the world? And why does this heroic origin story and its increasingly strange and shifting landscape feel both familiar and wrong all at once? It's almost like they're lost in a dream.
That was
Almost like that. Almost literally like that. In fact,
Now, normally this is where I start asking questions about the comic, but Nicole, who you petting there? Who's your friend?
This is Noodle. Noodle.
Uh,
Jump or you gonna come back here?
I was going to ask about pets later, but Noodle's right there. So
Well, she's just it's past 5 o'clock. Go, girls. You better spin, girl. Go.
she's such a ham.
She's such a they both
Oh.
are, but she usually spends all day under my bed hiding until dinner time comes at 5. And now she's ready to be part of the world again.
and there's another somewhere?
There's another Minthara is around here as well. We call her Minnie. Noodle and Minthara.
Right now, my two are waiting by because it's just about kitty cat dinner time. So in the next 10 to 15 minutes, my wife will start singing the kitty cat dinner time song, and they will both run out. Sir Binksford and the Lady Iris will appear.
Oh yes. Oh yes. We get 3 helpings of dry food, and then at 11 it's gravy time.
Oh, they get half a small can of wet food in the morning and at night, and then the dry food dispenser goes off at sixes and 12s.
Word.
So small doses spread out through the day.
Yeah.
And usually they both get some, although big old Binks will let Iris just bully him and she will eat everything.
Minnie will do the same thing. She will push Noodle out of what. Here's the thing. I'm going off on another tangent. See, it's starting already.
Please do.
So when they're both rescues, when they found Minnie, she was pregnant, not to the point where it would have been dangerous to spay her. So they spayed her. We're proud of her. Her body, her choice. Good for her. But she was producing milk. So when they brought Noodle's litter in, when they were kittens, Minnie nursed Noodle's litter. And so they're very attached. And so I adopted them together. And Minnie behaves in such a way where I'm like, yo, you are fucking up this joint custody agreement. That's your baby too. And I have to like look her in the eye and be like, remember that infant you took care of? Why are you? She didn't care. Does not care.
We took in Binks first as a foster fail, and he clearly wanted a friend.
Yes.
And so we got Iris, and we figured we're gonna do the right, the cat parent thing. We put up the gate, and they existed, they had the gate. And we figured, we'd have a week or so and they'd exist. End of day 2, she knocks the gate down and he just follows her around. He is 1.5 to 2 times her size. If he was aggressive, it would be trouble. But he is this gentle giant and she is this little bully who's just, they wrestle. And the minute she's done, she bops him on the nose and he's like, okay.
Oh.
And I didn't have pets growing up. This is the first time we've had 2 cats, and except for a brief time during the pandemic, but that was a whole other thing. But I was like, okay, they became best friends. Like they cuddle all day. And my wife's like, no, this is not normal. Cats do not become a bonded pair at the age of 6 and 8 when they just meet. But somehow these 2 just became the best of buddies immediately, and they are adorable, and I love them. And this is my office where I work all day, and it's also our guest room. And they spend the entire day on the bed right behind me, so I can turn around at any point and give one or the other of them a scritch on the head, because they are best friends.
Oh, they're constantly on the floor behind my chair. And then sometimes I'll be gaming at night, and Noodle will scale the back of this chair and come down from behind. She's great.
There is a chance, it doesn't happen often, but there is a chance that Binks will at some point walk in here and hop up on my lap. He doesn't usually do it during recording. He does like to do it while I'm having Zoom meetings for my day job, though.
Oh, man.
There he's like, hello.
Noodle loves a meeting. Noodle loves a meeting. She's like, oh my gosh, what are we talking about? Can I help? Does it help if I sit right here and put my butt in front of the camera? Is this helping?
My late beloved Queen Bess, she was the biggest meeting cat. But she was also the world's biggest lap cat. She would have been on my lap 24/7 if I could have.
We are so picky about when they get to cuddle. Noodle is like, she has like specific places where she's like, yes, I will touch you. Other times she's like, I don't know you.
Oh,
You're
that is Iris is the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Binks is just like he's just a big ball of love. Like he's just this big like, hello, I'm a big buddy. Everybody loves Binks. Give me pets.
Oh yeah.
Scratch my tummy. It's not
Noodle
a trap.
our little 2 a.m. Mommy and me smoke sessions on the patio. She'll like crawl into my cardigan sleeve and like and I'm trapped. I can't go.
I'm much better about the lap while working. My wife actually bought a baby Bjorn, and Binks will climb into the baby Bjorn and just sit there while she's working or doing her classwork for her degree that she's finishing now. And he's just there, and he's just like, "Yo,
I want that.
I'm a big boy."
Do you want to be in a baby Bjorn? Would you hate that?
Oh,
Yeah.
other cats would not, but Binks is he's just a big ball of love.
They're
He's
weird.
the best.
They there's no consistency with these girls. They pick and choose what they like. Minnie will play with any toy I bring her. Noodle has been like, she has exactly one that she likes. And I get so afraid because they're indoor cats. I get so afraid that they're getting bored. And I try to find new stuff for her. She doesn't care. Throwing my money away at this cat.
Oh, Iris plays with anything and everything. Binks has two things that he likes: a catnip pickle,
Yeah,
and a canvas bag we got when we made a donation to Doctors Without Borders. He just
well, Noodle loves a fork, and she loves bags and paper bags. So I was like, I was on a cat website. I was on, and I found like catnip infused paper bags, and I was like, oh my god, jackpot! She's gonna lose her mind. Don't give a shit. Doesn't give a single shit about that. And I bought 2.
Of course, because that's how it works. And
because they hate me.
Because they want
They see me trying to like what make them happy.
This is how they show their dominance.
How we are.
And we are all subs to our cats. That is just the way it works.
Yeah, it's my cats.
Yeah. Okay, we should probably talk about comics, shouldn't we? That's probably what the people are here for.
Only because I don't have cats, so I can't join in.
But
I'm just smiling and nodding through the last.
But you write
minutes.
comics' most adorable corgi. So
you do.
There it is.
My favorite animal in comics, hands down.
I am totally giving my partner Laura's niece Galaxy. She's turning 12, so she's a little on the young side, but she loves corgis more than anything. We were at Pride this weekend where there were all the vendors, and she's like, I just want a corgi Pride sticker, because she couldn't make it. She was at a Girl Scouts thing. So I was like, I have the book that we are giving her for the holidays this year, and it is going to be the book with the laser corgi, because that's the way to do it.
The laser corgi, the flamethrower corgi, the pilot corgi, the I'm programmed.
Argus can do it all. A little furry Swiss Army knife, that guy.
God, he is a do-it-all. He's a triple threat. He does it all. He's a do-it-all girl. He's a very Hannah Montana type.
The Dream Girls is you two writing the DC characters that you're best known for, kicking down the door and declaring Pride Month is ours, make way, suckers. How did all of this come together?
Andrea Shea.
Yeah, she was it was
Senior
her
editor.
idea.
Yes, congratulations to Andrea as of today.
Andrea Shea.
How great is that? How great is that? Well deserved.
That seriously.
The timing was perfect for the announcement, because we get to.
Oh, love her. So she had originally connected us when I was working on the first Dreamer graphic novel. Well, the only Dreamer graphic novel. Because they wanted.
And also the best Dreamer graphic novel.
By default, not doing another one. If it's got more than 30 pages, I'm out. Yeah, so because they wanted Galaxy and Dreamer to meet and to have a crossover, and yeah, and that's how we met, and that's how they met, and now here we are.
Yeah, it was Andrea wanted to expand the Pride anthology into a mini series, and thankfully wanted us to write it, which is great. Behind that 100%. And so approached us with like, what would you like to do? And we tossed a bunch of ideas. Obviously, the Dream Worlds was very exciting because it meant that we could use a bunch of different artists. It meant that we could have cool adventures that would not necessarily butt up against too much continuity. And so that was kind of the framework for that. And then as we started writing it, it became clear that we needed more of an intro into it. So we were fortunate enough to get the Justice League Intergalactic one-shot in there as well as kind of our Dream Girls issue 0. And with that lead in and then the miniseries, yeah, all of DC Pride is us, which is amazing and incredible.
Yeah.
Not expecting that, but like loving it.
Yeah. And I'm glad that we were able to get like the mainline mini series and have a story that was rooted in canon, but through Dreams as a like device, we're still able to do the showcase of all of these amazing queer artists and invoke all of these different nostalgic feels of everybody's favorite stuff.
And the neat thing about this one and the way that there's not all the artists are queer. Also, not all the characters are queer. So we have these queer characters who are interacting with the straight characters that everyone knows and loves.
Yeah.
Batman, other ones.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking on superheroes? Green Arrow, there we go.
Queer artists get first dibs, but turns out a lot of us are working. So that's good. They were like, okay, yes.
So like all of these, instead of being siloed off into like just the queers over here, we have queers who are the primary focus and then a supporting cast with straight characters, primarily queer artists, but there are some straight artists in there whose vision was important to these very specific eras. And so it really is about community and coming together, which is kind of cool.
That's fantastic. And, given this is coming out weekly, did that change things in terms of how much lead time you had to pull the story together versus, if they made it a monthly or something like that?
I mean, I don't know. We just had our morning meetings and our morning coffee, and we just got to writing. It was nice. It was nice to get to feel some sense of schedule, consistency.
Consistency, because they all had to be done very quickly.
They all had to get done on time. And be ready to be out by June.
So there wasn't a lot of like wiggle room in between the finishing.
We're going right after the buzzer though.
and starting another, and like some artists who were going to be on it couldn't do it for reasons of their own. There was a lot of stuff. Green Lanterns are an important part of the second half of the book, and like that whole continuity and mythos, we were constantly getting notes back and forth about the Green Lantern rules. There's a bunch of Green Lantern rules, it turns out. Didn't realize that. If I had known, we probably wouldn't have had so much Green Lantern stuff, come to think of it. But you live, you learn.
Welcome to my entire comic career. I'm like constantly playing catch up with everything because I didn't get into comics until too late in my life. And I'm like, I could tell you about Naruto. I can't.
It's never too late. You can get it at comics at any.
No, I'm trying. I'm working so hard to catch up.
You're not just trying; you're succeeding.
Okay.
Well, listen, I was there. I saw you write that dialogue. I know you know what you're doing.
I know pain.
You did.
I know pain.
So it was a lot. It was a lot to do everything very quickly and to have everything done very quickly. We had a lot of leeway time, but because of the notes from other stories, from the artist and all that, it was kind of a down to the wire nail biter, but it all got done and it's all great. And I can't wait for people to read it.
It's so fun. And I've been loving the responses to it. Everybody's been really, really excited, I think, to see the Pride anthology evolve into a canon mainline story. And it makes it feel like a proper event for Pride. And it's something to celebrate all month long. It gives us something to look forward to. It certainly gives me something to look forward to every week. without having to brave West Hollywood traffic to go to Pride.
How did
Even
you?
longer than a month, right? Because we
True.
started Justice League Intergalactic at the end of April, and then Galaxy as the
True.
World Falls
Galaxy
Down came out in
Summer.
May, which plays heavily. It's Galaxy and Dreamer Summer because Dreamer's in As the World Falls Down,
True.
so
Aha.
Mm-hmm.
and that plays heavily into what we do in Galaxy, not Galaxy, Dreamgirls, especially issue 3. So it's really like a 2 months and change Pride celebration, which is impressive.
And hey,
And I
Batwoman
say
got her new ongoing too. So
Yeah.
bless my messy, messy, messy Kate. I read that back up at the end of issue 1, and it's like, oh, Kate, because Renee Montoya isn't messy enough, you're getting involved with
it's Pride, baby.
Ra's al Ghul's granddaughter. Good
Oh,
night.
it's so good. It's
It's
so good.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Matt, I almost messaged you this after you
Was
told me
Rachel
that, but I was like, for somebody who constantly talks about needing an heir, Ra's al Ghul's got a lot of progeny.
Yes, but
Right, that's
Ra's
the
al Ghul,
problem. Is like he keeps making these kids and they never measure up. And he's just got these very high standards.
and he's old and patriarchal, and he's dead and possibly a ghost at this point. He'll be back. He's Ra's al Ghul. That's what he
Yeah.
does.
They
It's
all
like
come back.
not dying his whole thing.
Yeah, pretty much. He finds a way. He's like life. He finds a way.
The dragon finds a way.
So,
That one.
how did you enjoy the experience of co-writing with each other and getting to directly play back and forth with your with Galaxy and Dreamer?
It was
I mean,
great.
it's been so fun. Like I said earlier, like getting to wake up and have our morning coffee and like shoot the shit and, just really come up with bits and just try to make each other laugh. And then hopefully, actually, that might actually work in the comic. Like we could actually write that down. Was really special and fun. And it was also just nice getting to have Galaxy and Dreamer actually meet together as adults. Because up until now, all their stuff had been flashbacks as kids.
Yeah, it was really cool because like we talked about doing it in a different way where like one of us would write a bit and then the other one would write a bit, or maybe somebody would write an issue, then the other person would write an issue or whatever. And it was just I didn't that didn't sound fun and I didn't want to do that. And neither did Nicole, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, so we just put up FaceTime and opened a Google Doc and improv'd at each other essentially, as Nicole said, and it came out really well. Like it was
Zaps up,
yeah, and it was a lot of fun. Like definitely would do again for sure. And yeah, just a blast. Like one of the most fun I've had writing comics.
It's one of the comics I'm most proud of. I think it came out so cool and so good. And oh God, I like these characters a lot. And it was so cool to see them in this central role and
to see them in so many different ways, right? And to see them as
costumes.
Amazons. Yeah. And to see them as Bat characters and super characters and to see them as the hard traveling heroes. Like all these different moments and eras in this classic DC mold, but to have our characters who are trans in those roles, which would never have happened in the eras that they came from, was really, I don't know, I feel like it healed something in me to see that.
So you're co-writing together and your characters are appearing together, but the first time these characters met, it was first in a book that Nicole was writing.
Yes.
And that would have been the first time that Galaxy was under the pen of someone other than you, Jadzia.
Correct.
And then they met again in those flashbacks in the second Galaxy, which was just Jadzia. And Nicole you've been involved in pretty much most of Dreamer's appearances outside of big crossover miniseries.
Yeah.
How was it sharing those characters at that point? Was there a degree of back and forth even then? Like, hey, how does this sound for this character? Maybe not direct dialogue, but
I always find it relieving to not have to write Dreamer. I always find it refreshing to have somebody else do it. And then I get to just be a fan and enjoy it. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that was going to happen.
I don't feel that way. I hold on to Galaxy with my claws. Uh, but I also was very fortunate to have Nicole write her because Nicole is so talented, number one, and so good at character. I was shown the script after Nicole had written it and been like, the editor was like, do you have any problems with this? And I was like, nope, this is all sounds great. I was prepared to have problems. I was ready. I was like, who does this actress think she is taking my character? I'm sure she wrote her all wrong. I'm sure all of Argus's dialogue is incorrect. No, all of it spot on. All of it was beautiful.
There was only one thing that I really, really, really got wrong because they had only said, because when they sent it to me, Prettiest Star hadn't come out yet. So they only sent me like the first 99 pages or whatever. And so a big part of the original Bad Dream script revolved around, like, not revolved around, but featured Galaxy in this like human disguise moment. And then they sent me the rest, and like on page 100, her like shape-shifting thing breaks and she's like herself all the time. And so the last half of Bad Dream, I like just kind of wrote on the fly and I had to scrap all of my notes. I was like, guys, why would you do that? Just send me the whole damn thing.
Our editor knew that happened. Like, that was in the outline. I don't know why she didn't tell you.
Piece of information to leave out. Joke's on me. I like zero in on the one thing that doesn't stick around. I loved writing Argus though. Argus and Kat and Taylor was so good.
You're so good at writing Argus. It's so fun.
Love that. Not a dog.
So good.
I love that little protection unit. He's so perfect.
So Nicole's writing of Galaxy in Bad Dream actually got me to loosen up about the character more and to be cooler with other people writing her because it's like
nerve-wracking.
It is. It's weird, right? Because especially I put probably too much of myself into Galaxy, and so like I do feel a personal connection to her in a way I shouldn't for something that is owned by DC Comics and by extension Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But because of that personal connection is why she's resonated with so many readers and why she is beloved. And so that's the trade-off.
It's like these characters have such a unique experience that hasn't been explored in comics a lot. And I think that not a lot of working at least at DC writers have that same experience. And so I don't know. I think all writers write what they know and you know yourself best. And I think there's a degree of self-insertion in everything that everybody does. I think that marginalized people are accosted with that much more frequently. But that doesn't mean we're the only ones doing it. I think that's important. And I don't think that's a fault of yours or of mine with Dreamer, because I think I'm the same way. For me, it's certainly an issue too. That was all stuff that I have felt, and Dreamer is just a lot of my anger at the world and my depression and my history with ideation and like just the feeling of like, man, if I could slip, just like not die, but like I could like a coma, that would eat. A coma right now, a coma for spring, groundbreaking.
I was curious about that scene in particular, just sort of how when it came to deciding you wanted to include that and like handling it, because obviously there's a degree of sensitivity, there's a degree of care there, and speaking to the experience of perhaps some of the people who are reading it, did that take a little bit more I guess cracking or time to write than say goofs and bits on the Watchtower where Guy Gardner is being himself.
I think
Beetle and Booster.
I think those bits went through a lot more rewrites than that one did. I think the conversation between Galaxy and Dreamer remained largely the same from the first.
If anything, it was just cut down a little bit because we had so much we wanted to say. And so to fit it all in the page.
Yeah.
But the lines themselves, I think, pretty much stayed. Yeah.
I think that we were going back and forth on the gender affirming care line because we weren't sure if it was too glib for that moment. But I'm like, I think that's exactly what it is.
I think what you ended up with, which is less glib than what we were wrestling with, I think hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. To actually answer your question, I personally wasn't too afraid because it was coming from such a true place, and I'm a firm believer that you can't get it wrong if it's just the truth. And I had faith that there were going to be plenty of other people that knew exactly what I was talking about there. Because here's the thing, Pride, there's no joy without our pain. Pride is born of our pain, of our being fed up, of our fighting back. And I think especially right now, it's ridiculous to not speak to the pain that particularly trans people are feeling. And I think to just do like a woo woo, we're throwing confetti is very not speaking to everything that's happening and everything that we're feeling right now.
It's a different kind of power fantasy. Rather than have these characters who don't feel that pain and can go through life invulnerable to it, we have characters like Galaxy and Dreamer who have experienced that pain and felt that loss and that anger and that depression, and that doesn't destroy them. And that's the power fantasy that readers are looking for.
Or does it? You'll have to stay tuned to read issue 4.
So we've talked a lot about all the different artists that you're working with, but when it comes to, when we're in reality is not the right word here. When we're on the Watchtower, you've got Ted Brandt and Rostein handling
the best
scenes.
Acting in the game.
Yeah. No, it's incredible, and it's fun, and it's bright, and it's cartoony. I was kind of curious, obviously when you're doing certain of these dream sequences, there are certain artists that you include because they're nailing the tone, right? I want to make this look like something in the DCAU. Great, J-Bone's going to draw it, right? I want to do a quick Beetle and Booster scene. Dan Jurgens, where you at? How did Ro and Ted become the artists for the Watchtower and the many characters who were populating it?
I mean, they're the best, number one. So go with the best, and you'll never be disappointed. But also, a lot of the stuff on the Watchtower is not actiony. It's a lot of characters standing around and talking, and so you need artists who are capable of making characters standing around talking looking very interesting and dynamic. And that is what Ted and Ro do better than anyone else. And so their body language and their expressions and their panel choices and camera choices as far as to like when to do a close-up and how close. There's a great sequence in issue 3 with Kate Godwin, another great trans character, where in the script it was just like a tight on Kate Godwin's face, and they got right up in there because she's saying something very important and poignant, and like to have her so close in the panel, and her whole face isn't even on the panel, it's so close, is a really great choice. It works with the page layout, and it works with what she's saying and the whole scene. And so, I will sing their praises till the end of time, because I think that they really understand not just comics, but also acting and expression and illustration in a different level than other people who draw.
And even when people aren't talking, they're reacting to other things. And everyone's like personality and individual character is so apparent in every single panel.
I never thought Galaxy so big. I love that.
Yes.
I'm always putting in the script that Galaxy is tall, and sometimes artists read that and sometimes they don't. Ted and Roe absolutely read it.
I never thought the team of Midnighter and Bunker would be so perfect, but especially how they drew just the the expressions as the two of them are next to each other was
Oh,
just
not Leather Daddy. Perfect.
It was
delightful.
so good. Like, yeah, when we hit upon that, it was basically like, what queer characters do you want to include? And it's like, well, I want to include Bunker, I want to include Midnighter. Let's bring them together. Like, who would be the worst person to team up with Midnighter if he was filling in for Question? It was like, oh, yes, Bunker, who sounds good on paper. Of course, you would want the guy who can make walls to help you with security, but then in practice, ridiculous. And it's beautiful. And I hope that team up happens more and more because it's golden.
It would be it's even better because Midnight or Apollo would be like, "Oh, you're a nice little guy. Good to hang around." And Midnight is just like, why? How do you? Oh, I'm just gonna sit here and sulk."
Yeah, we had another scene with them and had to get cut because we just wanted to put too much in there. But we had the scene we have is so good.
Everybody gets their little time to shine.
Yeah.
Because you have such a large cast, because DC's now got this Justice League Unlimited, everybody's in now, including some of the villains. You know, we've talked about some of the characters who were on the Watchtower. Is there one in particular for either of you that you were like, yes, I can't believe I finally got to write this, this character?
Kate Godwin, easily. Like, she was not in the original outline, and we couldn't use some stuff because of all the Green Lantern business that I was talking about. So we had a hole in the story. And I was like, well, Galaxy needs a catalyst for her arc to really like shape up and like get out of her own head. What if she just had a little pep talk with Kate Godwin and have that queer elder coagula moment where it's like, yeah, I know what you're going through, kid. You need to shut up and stop it. And it was wonderful. I've been wanting those characters to meet since I made Galaxy Up. Kate Godwin and Rachel Pollack are very important to me. And to be able to do that scene and to be able to do it with Nicole was really wonderful. And it is my favorite part of the whole miniseries. And I think we get to some really nice truths about being trans in the world in that, but also my little fangirl heart is soaring because the character I made up gets to hang out with one of my favorites.
I will say, I think it was just a few weeks ago
Mine
that I
is
was listening to your best issue ever, that the one you did with that Doom Patrol story where she first appears.
Yes.
So
Yeah, Kate Godwin means a lot to me in ways I will not shut up about.
please never shut up about it. I think mine is smaller. Mine only got a small cameo, but I think I had the most fun writing Ragdoll in the
Oh my
Gotham
gosh.
run. I immediately fell in love with Ragdoll when I was prepping Secret Six and read through all of Gail Simone's volumes. And I was like, oh, they're a little fucking freak. I love them. Hell yeah, man.
You did so good with that.
And I love that we got his special font.
Yes.
I was perfect and I loved it and it looked so good. And I love the line. You know what I'm going to say? I love the line where he's like, I bruised my sorry derriere on the leaky scary airs. It was so stupid and I loved it. And I love that character.
It was perfectly Ragdoll. Oh my God.
I love them. They're so weird.
From the guy who gives this whole beautiful speech about his body and all the things that he's gone through. And then sometimes I wonder what it would be like to fuck a butterfly.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. Oh God, if only I could break all my limbs and fold myself into an origami. Oh wait, I can.
Oh, that's so good. And never a doubt in my mind that we wouldn't get the Ragdoll font because Jodie Troutman was on the case. She had so many fonts in this book. Oh my God, she was
in this entire series. She is going off the rails, and she's great. I
Like
love
every dream sequence had a different font, and it was all
it.
done
Aura,
with historic research. It was amazing.
And just because I want to throw it out there, I was thrilled at the end of issue 1 to see Victoria October. I love that character. I
I love her
miss
too.
Victoria October and wish that someone in the battle offices would find a place for Victoria October to show back up.
I wish we could have put her in more, because she is a delight.
we need more
There's-
issues for all these queers.
I know, there's so
Since when did all of these queers show up? Oh my God.
they've always been there.
God. We're like coming out of the woodwork.
I mean, DC has like 200 queer characters, and obviously we couldn't put all of them in, but I did think about it. Just to like completely break Ted and Rose's hands. Like, what if we had a double page spread with all of them? And I was like, no,
Please don't.
don't do that. There is a huge crowd scene in issue 4
Yeah.
that they just nailed to the wall. That was amazing.
There's huge crouch scenes in issue 3.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Issue
huge,
3 is
but like the one in 4 is even more people, and they did it.
so good. The comedy and the timing as well. I know exactly what page you're talking about. Is so fucking funny.
It's so funny.
Oh God. I love Galaxy's face.
Jadzia, I was going to ask, how much of that was you going through the DC Book of Pride, which you wrote, and then
Which
just
I
going
wrote,
like,
yes.
check, check, check. Oh, almost forgot Extraño. Check.
Oh my God.
Oh, I would never forget Extraño. Number 1 with a bullet. That was on the top of the list to include on this. It's like, if we're gonna do Justice League Pride book, Extraño has to be there, has to have a large presence
Mhm.
and get all the best lines, and does mostly, which is amazing. I mean, I did write the book on DC's queer heroes, so I didn't need a checklist. It's all in here. I got it all. Yeah, I mean, it was really just like us picking our favorites, really. That's why Ragdoll shows up. That's why Scandal Savage shows up for a tiny little bit. That's why Extraño gets the best lines. Like, these guys are all the ones that we really enjoy, and so of course we put them in and squeeze them in, along with the straight people like Adam Strange. Historically straight.
Hi.
Yeah, he's an ally.
Someone had to hold Argus.
Someone
Someone
had
has.
someone had to hold Argus while Dreamer was unconscious.
Yeah,
One thing
Yeah.
about Dreamer, that dog's in her lap getting belly rubs. The world could be falling down. Look, see how I did that?
I did.
Well
see-
done.
Look,
Did that
good
for you.
job. Thank you.
And that was one of the things I loved about Intergalactic was like, even as they were like, this war criminal should be in jail, she's like, well, okay, I'm sorry that I saved you from dying in deep space. I love that dog. You guys, I love that dog.
The dog is so good. Not a dog.
Not a dog. That is my favorite that is my favorite moment in Intergalactic. Is that whole the dog is driving and
The
then
dog.
Argus turn around. Not a dog. That is my pitch for Intergalactic as an ongoing team book. Is I'm like, this is the dynamic. Not a scratch on her. You hear the dog?
Now, you mentioned there being rules with the lanterns, and between Intergalactic and Dreamgirls, you get to use a bunch of them, including lantern. Well, I mean, full disclosure, I'm predominantly a DC Luddite, but still lanterns that I wasn't familiar with, and I was curious.
Ones no one was familiar with in Intergalactic, which works for me. I love those weirdos. Like when they said, here are the lanterns you can use, and it's like, yes, we get the volcano guy and the weird
Jackie's
insect
like, we're in
dude.
business, baby.
And it's like, the only problem is none of these people have faces and we need facial expressions. Can we have someone with a human-like face? And they were like, okay, here's a few more. And that was also awesome because one of them had huge bullhorns. It's like, I don't know who this one is. I love her.
From the vibe.
And so, yeah, that was catnip to me to be given.
My girlfriend and I saw you from across the bar. We love your vibe.
Yeah. To be given these weirdos that like aren't who people think of as Green Lanterns was a joy. And then later getting to use Guy Gardner and Jessica Cruz, who people do think of as Green Lanterns. And that was fun in an entirely different way. But like, seriously, when she was like, here are the monsters you get to use, I was like, yes, yes.
See, this is how I feel about Ragdoll. I'm like, look at this weird little freak.
We see each other.
I was kind of thinking, and first of all, I was like, Volk, I got. I was like, okay, I've read the Morrison series, so I know who this fella is. But I was wondering if there's sort of like an X-Men fan brain that kicks in where you're like, okay, give me the weirdest weird little guys you got when it comes to the Lanterns. Like, don't give me
Always.
Kyle or Hal or John, give me the Volcano and the Chicken Man and the Squirrel, the ones you can unlock in Lego Batman 3 or whatever.
I'm always about the little weirdos. When I was in the initial meeting to meet with DC people, and this is before I pitched Galaxy, and then they were talking to me about YA books, and I was like, "So I was thinking we could do something with these weirdos," and they were like, "Absolutely not. Do things with characters people know." And then I did, but at the bottom of that pitch was the pitch that became Galaxy, a definitely character no one knew because I just made her up. So even when I'm trying to follow the rules of like stick to characters people know, I don't, because I love little weirdos so much that I had to make one up. But yeah, we got excited to do those and to have those characters, and two of them, Tarange and Shad, we got to name, which was awesome because they had never been named before. They were just these two little background lanterns. And I was like, if you use them, you can name them. And I was like, great.
How do we make Chad alien-y? Was, I believe, the goal.
Yeah.
But in the same vein, we also got to name the Witch Queen. Was really fun.
Yes, we did. Because she was Sinestro's sister in her original appearance, but never actually had a first name.
Yeah. So we named her after one of my D&D characters, Malshira. So she is Mal Sinestro. And I said that to my D&D group, and I got a point of inspiration.
Oh, fantastic.
I was like, this is an Easter egg for 3 people.
And it was great to bring that character back, because that story is so weird. But she's so fun in it, and then hasn't been used in like 40 years.
One of my favorite things about Intergalactic was, because Jadzia and I work the same way, which is Pinterest boards. Our Pinterest boards for Intergalactic were off the hook. We had one for the we had one for the palace. We had one for the temple in the desert. We had one for just the Witch Queen's new outfit. It was so fun.
And Travis Moore took all of those ideas and made something so wonderful.
Oh God, she looks so good. She's got to come back. I want her to be a recurring Galaxy and Dreamer villain.
She has to be.
She's
at this point
too fabulous to not. Like, give me a ball gown and Sindel hair.
Yeah. And a big ruby scepter.
Beautiful.
Now, on the graphic novel side of things, both of you have gotten to include not just each other's characters and each other's stories, but both of you worked with artist Rye Hickman.
Yes.
Yeah. How did each of you enjoy working with Rye?
I mean, my graphic novel was the first thing I was assigned to or trusted with at DC. So I was completely new to the game, and I had no idea. I wasn't sure if I was doing anything right. I wasn't sure if my script was going to translate well to art. I didn't know how it was going to look. And Rye took everything and they made it so. The dream sequences in Bad Dream are so like that we're done with such an element of like yes and I remember they were like, I know you wanted it to be kind of like topsy-turvy. So like, what if they were all upside down? Is that too weird? I was like, no, do it. And then we did the cover upside down, which is to both of our detriment because multiple times we have both signed that book upside down, thinking that it was right side up. So you live and you learn. Sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot. It's all in the name of the game. That's okay.
I love working with Rye. They contacted me while they were working on Bad Dream because they had read Galaxy of the Prettiest Stars research and were very complimentary of the book. Wrote me an essay about how much the Prettiest Star moved them.
It's a good book.
Thank you. And this was great because I was a huge fan of Rye's work already. So we had a mutual admiration society going on. And then we met up in person at FlameCon. And there was an anthology that the editors of the anthology wanted me to do something. It's like, if you could find an artist, we'd love to have you. And So I went over to Rye's table and I was like, I got a story. Do you want to draw it? And they were like, sure, I'll do that for you. Yes, please. So they did. That was the Creed of the Seamstress and Sharp Wit and the Company of Women. They did an amazing job. They, despite having very different lives, because Rise had an extremely different life than mine, we have a lot of similar frames of reference. So writing out a panel description and then seeing what Rye draws, it's very similar to what I imagined, but even better. So I love working with them. And then when Vash couldn't do Galaxy 2, Rye was available. And I was like, how about we have Rye do it?
Let's
Rye's
keep it going.
available. And it works out really well since these stories, As the World Falls Down and Bad Dream, are so connected. They take place over the same summer. It feels right to have Rye do both of them and to have that continuity. And that was amazing. And clearly, I still, because I'm working on a book with them right now, Princess Nightmare, which is amazing. I've seen some of the art already. Rye is off the chain with this, getting to do some fantasy stuff. So they're really going nuts with the backgrounds, and it just looks so beautiful. So yes, I will work with Rye as long as they'll have me because I love everything they do, and everything they touch turns to gold.
So you clearly love his music based on chapter titles alone.
Yes.
But there's a scene in As the World Falls Down that makes me just want to ask, is Bowie the most danceable musical icon?
See, that's a tough one, right? Because like the most danceable, ooh. See, I don't want to say yes to that because there's so many musicians. I mean, modern wise, like, can we even say that when Janelle Monáe exists? But even going back further, can we even say that when Aretha Franklin exists? Can we even say that when people like Missy Elliott or Diana Ross exists? I don't know. I don't know if we can claim David Bowie has that crown. Certainly one of. I think we can say one of. I think that's fair. I think it's
Certainly in the top.
in the top. Top 10? Top
Okay.
5? Possibly. Very danceable. Extremely danceable. No matter what era. That's one of the cool things about David Bowie is that in his like constant shifting of musical stylings and trying to do different things, it is all motivated by a beat and a dance move, and like it all has to have that sort of like kinetic energy to it. So like even the quieter songs have that.
I said I feel that way about Gaga.
Yeah, Gaga's another one that's like, again, can we put David Bowie on that pedestal when there is Lady Gaga? So like, yeah. So I'm gonna say no with an extremely long caveat that's like,
Huge asterisk.
yeah,
We ask the tough questions here.
yeah, clearly.
It's funny. My instinct when Matt put that question in the notes was originally just to jump in and say yes. But now, after listening to your answer, what I'm hearing is it's actually a tie between Bowie and Missy Elliott, and I'm good with that.
Could be, could be.
We can co-sign that.
How is it creating an entire alien race for a comic? Like Galaxy has that whole Superman Last for People thing, but you're still
Yeah.
creating, there's still a society to create whole cloth there, with like looks and customs and all that.
Well, thankfully, I think too much about these sort of things, so it came as second nature to me to have all these weird, like, idiosyncrasies of this world, like some of which I ended up discarding because it was just too complex. But a lot of it was like, because it had to be different than anything else we've seen before in the DC universe. It was like, well, what haven't we seen? And then narrowing that down, like, all right, so what if these are people who are very tied to their home world, to the Earth itself, and like so much so that their technology isn't built or manufactured, it's grown. And that kind of like, it all tumbled out from there, this sort of society that was just deeply involved in their home world so much that they did not see themselves as apart from it. They're not Seandians, they are the Seandi. in the same way the planet is the Sandy. So all of that just kind of came from that. But it was something that I just loved thinking about over and over again. And so that's why it all came together. When Vash and I were trying to figure out how they looked, that was difficult because, again, it couldn't look like any alien that already exists. And there's a lot of science fiction movies and television shows and comic books that have a lot of aliens. Props to Vash for coming up with that wonderful head curve and then coming up with like how this is when I knew we had it because they showed me older Sandy with like multiple head curves and I was like, yeah, that's perfect. That's the right look. So a lot of how cool they look comes from them. And a lot of how weird their society is comes from me.
Nicole, both acting and working in comics are highly collaborative media in obviously very different ways. What are the parts of each that really speak to you creatively?
I think it's probably two sides of the same coin. I think one of the things that I love is getting to the root of a character's motivations and not passing judgment on that. It's not my job to determine whether I mean, I suppose to some degree it is to determine whether a character is good or bad, but more so to understand why a character is doing what they're doing, which is why I was so drawn to Amanda Waller when I was doing Suicide Squad, because we can look at what she's doing and be like, well, yes, this is objectively batshit fucking evil. But we also understand, well, how does a Black woman go from wanting to fight injustice in her low-income local community into the highest echelons of the United States government and sanctioning and leading multiple genocides at the same time? How do you, as a person, as a marginalized woman, reconcile the insane kind of harm that you are doing to the world? That was very interesting to me. And Dreamer is the same way. And I think that's why I had so much fun doing Suicide Squad and Secret Six, because it kind of let me chew on the ambiguity of good and evil and getting into the nuance of morality. And I think that's the same muscle as when I've got a film or television script in my hand. And again, it's not my job to say whether a character is good or bad. I can tell you if a character thinks they are good or bad. Not everyone believes that they're doing the right thing. A lot of people know that they're doing the wrong thing and or do the right thing but believe that they're bad and maybe they're not. That's very fun. And so it's always a good exercise into character analysis and just, yeah, getting into the weird motivations that we all have. I think there's a lot of conversation about like characters that get written out of character sometimes, but I think that is still something that we do as people, right? We don't always behave in a way that is consistent with our image of ourselves or perhaps other people's perception of us, especially when we're hurting, especially when we've gone through something especially traumatic. We have all been known to act out of character. And getting into the motivations of why is very interesting as well. I also like costume changes.
One thing that's always amazed me working with you is just how incredibly deep and detailed your understanding of character is.
Thank you.
And especially considering that you have not been doing this that long as far as writing. And even also being alive, because you're so much younger than I am. It's just really, yeah, it's really impressive that you are able to do this at the level that you do it. I know when I was your age, did not have this deep understanding of character, so I'm always amazed by how good you are at this.
Thank you very much. I've been having a really good time. I did not expect comic book writing to, first of all, be an opportunity for me. But I was always, when I was a kid, I had well, when I was in middle school, I was like, I'm gonna be a mangaka when I grow up. I'm gonna write manga and I'm gonna bleh. And so I was always coming up with these big stories in my head, and I never thought that that was going to translate to anything. Certainly not at this scale. Certainly not getting to have two trans alien superheroes spearheading the Justice League. Not to be one of a handful of women to have ever written Justice League.
We're 2 of 4. We are
crazy.
half the women
We're
who've done
half.
Justice
We're
League.
half. That's wild. It's been a surprise, but it has been an absolute gift. And I am so grateful that I get to do it with such cool people that are so excited about everything that we're doing, that are so excited about getting to share these stories and explore all of these complex themes, and getting to do it with one of my now best friends is so cool. That and we get to share this thing together, and I can't wait to keep doing it.
Well, listen, as we all know, after Pride comes Wrath. So, this is filling your June. What does your Wrath month look like? Where do you go from here?
I don't think I can say. I think
Yeah.
I was breaking down the next thing. I had a very exciting call with Paul Kaminsky and
Oh my gosh.
Wade,
Exciting.
that I'm really excited for. I'm excited. I think the thing I can say is I'm really excited for Dreamer to finally get back on the wagon of being a superhero. I think the time has finally come, and this is what Dreamgirls was for Dreamer, was the culmination of her arc throughout the DCU over the past 2 years since Beast World.
Yeah.
She came on the scene as like this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed new hero, ready to help and ready to stave off, futures foreseen, and just like hit black ice and just pinballed her way. It's like, I think of it like that scene in Bridesmaids when you first introduced Melissa McCarthy, and she's like, yeah, I was on a cruise, fell overboard, kind of pinballed my way down, broke a lot of shit. Like that feels like that's what Dreamer's journey has been. And I think she's finally settled at the bottom of the ocean. And it's time to pick herself back up and start trying to be the hero that she sent out to be before Amanda Waller ruined everything.
I love that for her.
I'm so excited. And let's get some chrome on that costume so Galaxy can match, right?
Yeah.
These girls
I'm saying. Yeah, you've tied it to the TV long enough. Let's have some shiny chrome under that brown leather jacket.
A costume change from Nicole, unheard of.
Incredible. Galaxy 2, this is kind of for lack of a better term, kind of Galaxy's coming out party in a lot of ways. I think the weird thing about having a character who debuted in the YA books is that there's a huge fan base for her, but the larger DC universe people who read the floppies don't really know about her. Similarly, like a lot of people enjoyed Hawkgirl, but those are not people who buy Justice League regularly or Batman regularly, right? So those kind of fans are not people who are familiar with Galaxy. So to have her be on the cover of a Justice League book, on the cover of 5 Justice League books,
looking fantastic and busty as hell.
that is the magic of intergalactic HRT. So
talk about it
for her.
That's how I felt with the Dan Mora variant for Intergalactic. I'm sure you saw it. There was some response online. They were like, "Who's the purple space baddie? Who is this?" They were like, "Ooh, who's Little Miss Thing with a ray gun?" Also, ray gun for Galaxy win.
Once I can figure out a way for it to make sense with her power set, I will put it in because I love it. I love that Dan Mora picked up exactly what we were putting down with Galaxy, which is Barbarella.
Yes.
But modern.
Yes.
And gave us that wonderful cover.
Oh
so yeah, it's just a really nice to get people to see Galaxy, to learn about her, and now she has even more fans, which is wonderful.
She should.
She should. She's so fun.
Oh, cool.
And she's got a little dog.
So powerful. powerful. These girls are so cosmically powerful. It's almost sad.
Well, I feel like with trans people, it's not enough to have a power fantasy. We need to have an overpowered fantasy.
We don't know how to do less. Never have, never will.
No. And we deserve it.
Have you seen our wardrobes? Come on. Subtlety is not in the room.
So as we enter the wind down, do either of you have a local or favorite comic shop you'd like to get a plug in for? Nicole, why don't you go first? You seem very excited by this question.
I just did a great signing with Nowhere Comics just outside of San Diego. They are fantastic. I love Golden Apple here in LA. I had Earth 2 or Earth 3 comics here in Van Nuys, and they closed recently, and I'm devastated. You know. So guys, go support your local comic book shops. Don't go through this pain with me.
It's why we added this question when the bunch of the shops in the greater Philly area started closing. It's like, no, we need to get every creator out there to be like, hey, go to this shop.
Brave New Worlds in Old City is one of my favorites. I've been shopping there for years, over a decade probably. They're incredible. I remember when Galaxy first was going to come out, I was like, hi, I have a book coming out. I'd love to do a signing with you. And they're like, sure, weirdo, whatever. No, we don't do that. But now they know who I am, and they love to do signings with me, and I love to do signings with them. They're great. And Multiverse, which is a new store in Germantown, a wonderful shop. Just did a signing there too, and the proprietors there are wonderful, and they'd always have cool out of town guests come in and sign, which is amazing. And it's so funny because like the audience for both of those shops very different, because one is in one neighborhood and the other is in the other. So it was really nice to do a signing at one and then do a signing at the other and see the different types of people who come to both. And I love those shops for different reasons. Brave New Worlds is like a really classic comic book store. They've got the statues up and the like neon bat symbol on the wall and all that. And Multiverse is more of a bookstore that also sells comics, or a comic store that also sells books, depending on how you look at it. And has a really nice homey feel to it. It feels like someone's like personal library more than a store, which is really nice.
Also, Golden Age Collectibles in Vancouver. That was my go-to when I was doing Supergirl and Yellowjacket.
Oh, nice.
They're fantastic. So if you're not local to the States, if you're in Vancouver, they're fantastic too. It'd be great too, because I'd be walking in and Jesse Rath would be walking out. I'd be like, oh, I'm not supposed to see you today.
I was just in Toronto for TCAF, and the Beguiling puts that show on with the help of the Toronto Public Library, and their store is incredible. I walked in there and I was like, oh, well, this is a nice small store. This is really cool. And then I walked through a door and there's a whole nother store that's just manga. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like it's like two comic book stores in one. And then I went up to the guy behind the counter and I was like, so do you have any of my books? I'd sign them if you have them. And he's like, oh, sure. That's in the YA section over there. So it's this whole nother store through another door of just like all ages and YA books.
Just pulling comics out of a hat. It's great.
Yeah, it was like it felt like being on the TARDIS and like just a new room with even more comics.
It's like a fucking magic trick.
And it's like, I have to leave, otherwise I'm gonna buy so many things.
Oh my god.
But that's an amazing store with amazing people, and we had a great conversation with the people who work there. And so if you're in Toronto, definitely check out the Beguiling. Since we're talking about Canadian stores,
we're full service comic creators.
So what is a comic by another creator, you can't say each other's books, that you're really enjoying right now? Jadzia, why don't you go first this time?
Dead Teenagers by Jude Doyle and Caitlin Yarsky is great. It is so fun. It's really funny riff on slasher movies, and like the conceit is that these kids are in a time loop and they get murdered at prom by different monsters each time, and then finally the loop supposedly ends and they're in their adult bodies with adult lives, but still have the minds of the teenagers. And so that's the scariest thing, is being grown up, clearly, and how they deal with those lives. And that's I've just only read up to issue 3 so far, but I do not know where it's going each and every time. They keep surprising me, and I really enjoy that book.
I'm bad. I'm in between right now. I'm working my way through the third Navessa Allen book right now, but I kind of plugged it already. I think some of the most fun I had recently, well, I guess this is not recent anymore, but when I was doing Secret Six and I went through, because I hadn't read Gail Simone's original 2005, 2008 runs. So if for some reason, you're listening to this podcast and you haven't read the Secret Six originally, that is lightning in a bottle. That is a perfect comic.
It is
I'm obsessed with it.
It's the best Cape comic of the past 20 years.
Holy
Easily.
shit.
It's
easily
so good. It's so good.
It's if you're in like what I was talking about before about like the moral ambiguity and like who's a hero, who's a villain, who gets to decide. Like that is so good. I love it.
Also, I haven't read the whole thing yet because it's not out yet. But what Ted and Roe have shown me of The Worst of Man is amazing. So everyone go pre-order The Worst Man. It comes out in July, maybe August. But it comes out this summer. It looks so good. It's Ted and Roe doing everything they do best, which is everything. And everybody should get that book. It's about a professional wedding ruiner. It's so good.
Before we go, is there anything else that either of you needs to plug, whether it's other work or a signing, appearance somewhere, anything like that?
If you're in the Los Angeles area, I will be doing QCon this Saturday, the 20th, or this was coming out after the 20th, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just happened. So I hope you
saw
saw.
you
I hope you were there.
I hope I saw you there.
Yeah. If you knew it was good for you, you would have been there.
I might be doing Fan Expo in Anaheim though at the end of the
Nice.
month. Working on that. So fingers crossed that comes through.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll see you at San Diego.
You should come to New York. We'll do Comic-Con there. You did. It was great.
It was fun.
If you're on the internet,
Paul Kaminsky coming up behind us as we're talking about Paul Kaminsky was the biggest jump scare of my life.
he just Batmaned on us.
That's what he does all the time.
So Worlds Beyond Numbers, The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One, they are doing a graphic novel based on the first arc that I adapted, along with Sarah Webb doing amazing illustrations. We had so much fun on that book. That Kickstarter has started by now, I think. Yes, 23rd. Yes. So go to there and buy it. It's such a beautiful book. Sarah did amazing artwork in that. Brendan Lee Mulligan, Abria Iyengar, Erica Ishii, and Lou Wilson did this wonderful story on their podcast. And then I had the difficult job of turning that wonderful story into an actual graphic novel you can sit down and read. And I did it, and it's wonderful. It's great. Yeah. Everyone should read it, which is why you need to go to that Kickstarter and back it, get your copy reserved. There's a whole bunch of bonuses that you can get as well, but the graphic novel is really the core thing, and you should do it so that I can do more of these wonderful stories. Translating an audio medium into a visual medium was a challenge, but I did enjoy myself, so I would like to do more.
Ooh, and you know what? While we're plugging things that are coming out, go get Dreamgirls issue 4. Find out for whom the wedding bells toll. You know what I'm saying? You got to find out how it ends.
Yeah. Is this the final stand of Galaxy and Dreamer?
Whoa!
And Jadzia, you also, just because you did have a story in the Monsters in Love Pride special that came out as this is spoken 2 weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. It's a great special, and yes,
yeah,
I'm plugging your stuff for you because it was so much fun.
I appreciate that. We did that with Bailey Rosenlund, who is an amazing artist to work with. I got to meet her in person at TCAF, which was so wonderful. She's just the sweetest person in the world and an incredible artist. Just did an amazing job on that story. I would love to work with her again, but everyone wants to work with Bailey, so I probably won't for a while yet. Very busy. But she's incredible. And that story was a delight to write and a delight to see Bailey's art for. So pick that up.
All right. Well, Jadzia, Nicole, this has been a fantastic time. Final question before we release you back into the world. How should people be following you online to keep up with Dreamgirls and everything else that you have respectively going on?
Yeah, I'm Nicole A. Maines on Blue Sky and Instagram and TikTok. I'm mostly on Instagram and Blue Sky, though.
Don't follow me.
Damn, I wish I'd said that.
No, you can. I'm at planetx.bluesky.social, or you can just search for Jadzia Axelrod. It'll come up. Also, my website, jadziaaxelrod.com, which will have updates, and there's a link to my newsletter there. There's ways to follow me if you want, but I'm slowly becoming a hermit in the forest. And
Listen to the wind. Listen to the call of the wind, and it'll tell you where to find Jadzia.
There you go. Your heart will lead you to me.
Totally.
And if it doesn't, maybe check your heart.
Look
maybe
to the stars.
Look for me in a bookstore. Buy a book.
Come on.
But yeah, there's places to find me on the internet should you desire. If you want to see like the outfits I do and the food I make, by all means, go to Blue Sky and find me because I do post that.
Well, Jadzia, Nicole, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Our pleasure.
Wow, crash.
That's it for this week's show. As a reminder, you can find the Comics XF interview podcast at Comics XF, along with our sister podcasts, Battle of the Atom and Bat Chat with Matt and Will. You can listen to the Comics XF interview podcast on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, Audible, and at comicsxf.com, where new episodes move Tuesday mornings. You can support Comics XF at patreon.com/comicsxf, where a $1 donation gets you a shout out at the end of every episode of the Comics XF interview podcast. A $2 donation gets you early access to this podcast and a shout out at the end of every episode. A $3 donation gets you access to our monthly bonus podcast, Our Son Pete, a deep dive into the comic appearances of British mutant super spy Pete Wisdom. A $5 donation gets you access to Our Son Pete and a Pete Wisdom Hawklaw sticker designed by Kevin Newburn, or an update to the Xavier Files Mutant Master Rankings at Comics XF. A $25 donation lets you request a primer, one of our custom reading guides for a series, character, or creator, and a $50 donation lets you advertise on the show. You can also go to patreon.com/comicsxf to order copies of the Comics XF zine, featuring some of the best articles from the history of the site. Digital copies are $10, physical copies are $15, and supplies are limited. Big thanks to our patrons: Kaylee Post, Nathan Elwood, Mark Danielson, Silas X, Jack Adams, Sean Shambly, Matt McThorny, Buddy Nooning, Jake Murray, Zach Quaintance, Joel Elod, Lisa Slack, Will Redman, Tobias Carroll, Liz Large, Asimov Fangirl, Carla Pacheco, and Shelf Dust. You're all special, and we love you. You can follow Comics XF on Blue Sky, X, Threads, Facebook, and Instagram at Comics XF. Me at Daniel P. Grote on Blue Sky, and Matt Lazowitz at MattLaz1013 on Blue Sky. And until next week, remember, Batman co-creator Bob Kane's gravestone says the following: God bestowed a dream upon Bob Kane. Blessed with divine inspiration and rich imagination, Bob created a legacy known as Batman. Introduced in a May 1939 comic book, Batman grew from a tiny acorn into an American icon. A hand of God creation, Batman and his world personified the eternal struggle of good versus evil, with God's laws prevailing in the end. Bob Kane, Bruce Wayne, Batman. They are one and the same. Bob infused his dual identity character with his own attributes: goodness, kindness, compassion, sensitivity, generosity, intelligence, integrity, courage, purity of spirit, a love for all mankind. Batman is known as the Dark Knight, but through his deeds he walks in the light of a higher power, as did his creator, Bob Kane, beloved husband, father, grandfather, in loving memory. With Bill Finger.